Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today I'm going to be talking about what to do if you're having a bad game where you just feel like you can't win any duels and you're on the bottom of the leaderboard with like single digit kills and you feel like you're having no impact for your team. So everyone, regardless of rank, will have a bad game every now and then where you just feel like you can't win any gunfights and you're just single digit kills at the bottom of the leaderboard. Obviously these games feel awful, but there's a couple things that you can do to make sure that you still have impact for your team and you're not completely sandbagging. So the most important thing you want to keep in mind when playing Valorant, and if you're especially if you're having a bad game, is the only thing that matters at the end of the day is winning the game. So as long as you're putting rounds on the board, it doesn't matter how many kills you have at the end of the day as long as you win the game. That mindset's really important to have, especially if you're bottom fragging. So let's talk about mistakes that I see a lot of people make. So one thing that I see a lot of people do when they're bottom fragging is they'll start taking really dumb fights and they'll start making dumb decisions. So for example, like someone bottom fragging at the beginning of the round might immediately decide to walk down long C to try and get a kill. So pretty much whenever someone's bottom fragging, they always become very kill hungry because that's all they're focused on is to try to get their kills up and try and get their stats up. But a lot of the time what this does is, especially if you're not feeling it, if you're taking these risky plays of like walking down, going aggro long C, trying to catch your enemy off guard, a lot of the time you just die and then it becomes a 4v5 and you're pretty much throwing the game. You start throwing the game for your team trying to make these risky plays. So that's one thing you want to stay away from, is going for these confident plays when you're not confident. If your aim is not on point and you're not feeling it at all, you shouldn't be going for these peaks like out garage, maybe let's say like an aggro peak like this. You shouldn't be going for these fights. Vice versa, on attacking side, a lot of players, what they'll do if they're bottom fragging is they will run off on their own. So they'll like, defaulting is fine, but if you're on the bottom of the leaderboard, you want to set yourself up for your teammates to trade you out. But instead, a lot of people will go off on their own and they'll die. And again, that's pretty much throwing the game for your team. What you want to do as a bottom frag is, if you're not really feeling it and you're not really killing people, you want to make it so that you're tradable. So you always want to stick to somebody on your team. That's the main rule if you're bottom fragging and you're not killing anybody. You want to at least make sure that you're giving the opportunity for your teammates to trade you out. What that means is, if we're playing a default, I will pick somebody to stick with. Maybe my top frag or maybe someone else on my team. I'll just stay with them. So I'll just pretty much be their butt buddy and I'll walk around with them. And if we're peeking angles or if we're going into a site, I'll go in front and make sure that I'm getting traded out. And this way, you might not be getting kills, but at least you're having impact to where you're dying and you're allowing your teammates to get the kills for you. So either way, as long as you're putting rounds on the board, that's all that matters. But if you're playing someone like Sage or you're playing someone like Skye, that's even better. So if you're bottom fragging as like a Skye or a Viper or a Sage, all you want to do is farm orbs. So make sure you're farming these orbs for your ult, because even if you're not being useful by killing people, you can be useful with your utility. So if you're a Skye player, you can dog for your team. You can flash for your team. You can grab the orbs, and then if you have your ult, you can use that ult to help your team execute a site. So even if you're bottom fragging as an agent with a lot of utility, you can still be useful in other aspects of the game where you dog, drone, flash, etc. So another thing to keep in mind on defense, if you are bottom fragging, is you don't want to be playing any solo sites. So you don't want to be the guy soloing C. For example, if we're playing a 2A setup, I want to be one of the people on A. So if you're bottom fragging, you want to play a double site with somebody. And this is important to do in general, but you want to do it, you want to make sure you prioritize it even more if you're not playing so well, is you want to be playing with your teammate, off your teammate, rather than taking solo fights. Again, if you're doubled up on A, you don't want to be early peeking by yourself, A long, taking duels and dying. Instead, you want to be playing on site, playing a crossfire with your teammate, to where, you know, and if you're playing utility like flash, you can flash for your teammate as well. But you want to be playing doubled up with your teammate on site, and you can bait for them or play a crossfire and basically run setups where you're guaranteed to kill somebody. If you're not guaranteed to kill somebody, then your teammate is guaranteed to kill somebody. Also, guys, make sure you just try and keep a level head. Try not to tilt yourself. I think if you're bottom fragging, the most important thing is to communicate to your teammates. Maybe say, you know, guys, I'm not playing too well. Here's how you guys can support me, or here's how I can support you. I can run in first, you guys can trade me, or I can flash you guys in, stuff like that. Or if you're playing Sage, you can say, you know, I can farm the ult orbs and get res and hang back a little bit and, you know, let you guys go for the initial picks, and then I can res if any of you die. So, you know, there's plenty of ways to still be impactful in the game, even if you're not killing people. And if you're the one top fragging and you have somebody bottom fragging on your team, just make sure you ask them how can you help them get back in the game, how can you support them? You don't want to flame the people who are bottom fragging, because everyone has bad games. You can ask them how you can support them, try and lift up their spirits, let them know that as long as they're doing their job and as long as you're winning rounds, it doesn't really matter if they're bottom fragging. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Key takeaways is to just play for trades. Make sure you are always with somebody so that they can trade off you. If you're not killing anybody, then at least make sure that you're enabling your teammates to kill somebody. If you're playing agents like Sage or Skye or any utility-based agents, you can farm the alt orbs and use your utility to assist your team into executing sites and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this video helps you guys out for the next time you guys are having a bad game, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.